Hi, welcome back to the Dylan Rounds case. Welcome if you're here in this live premiere. I appreciate it. Today, as you can tell by the title, there is some form of breaking news regarding a certain channel known as Salty3Pancak3s. We'll be getting into that later, explaining what's truly happened. Okay, so that's all under control. I know some people will not give a shit about it. That's understandable. But for those who may want a resolve, for answers, it can be provided today, okay? And as I said, we're going to be taking a look at the Dylan Rounds discussion of previous comments from my last video, as well as looking at the Find Dylan Rounds Facebook page, as there are some new posts and a new post by Candice Cooley. Considering the silence recently, it'll be interesting to see what she's got to say, of course. Also, today, we're going to be doing and sharing an exclusive interview with a meow, okay? Some of you will know I don't have the best track record when it comes to interviewing stuff, right? When I do an interview, they just always walk away, which isn't practical, but today it was somewhat successful. So make sure to stick around in this video to find out of all the latest news and coverage, okay? Now, if you haven't already, make sure to check out my previous video whilst talking about the Dylan Rounds case, and more specifically Chase Venstra, filling in the blanks of the 25th of May 2022 with that run-in between Dylan and Chase Venstra. Interesting information provided by Weezer, credit to her. I'll provide a link down below in the comment section so you can check it out, all right? As we do go along in this video, feel free to share your thoughts, opinions and reactions in the live chat. And of course, what I must acknowledge, just so you're aware, there is a higher chance, we could call it an amber to red alert, of potential resistance tonight. Just be aware of it. Why? Just simply because of the topics, the themes and the title of what we're going to be talking about today, right? I'm just simply documenting it all as it goes along and clearing up loose ends and providing an explanation behind stuff, because look at it this way, although it could be interpreted as an event of drama, being able to step in as a form of balance just to set the scene is something unique and different, which has not been done before regarding, I guess, Dylan Rounds case community and kind of expanding outwards. The only thing I will acknowledge in a positive light is that whilst whatever has gone on recently, which I'm not really aware of, I'll be honest with you, with those other channels, it's provided a space to be able to think a little bit more clearly, to be able to question and receive answers at the same time without too much disruption, as we've clearly seen in the chats in recent time, okay? So, there's a lot to look at today. Make sure you stick around, okay? As well, I'll provide some other links down below in the pinned comment section if you want to view them, okay? Also, to acknowledge, Ty Corbin has uploaded a few more videos recently, I guess searching about for Dylan Rounds with some other guy or so. So, if you want to check it out, check the videos. Not found Dylan yet, of course, but making attempts to find Dylan. I think there was one video where he was using a pickaxe and kind of unearthing the ground where it might have caved in or something. And speaking of caved in, when you got these mine shafts which have supposedly filled in with time, the questions regarding that are, is it truly a while ago, or did someone like Brenner purposely fill it in, right? There's still questions around that hovering about, especially with the people that think Dylan is buried in a place like that, okay? Will we get a true answer down the line? I don't know. One thing I do find interesting with Lance Kelly, originally what we heard at the time, it seemed Lance Kelly was on a mission to go into Lucin, Utah, and to go through each and every mine because he felt the others didn't do a good enough job. Like they didn't thoroughly explore the stuff, and it needs to be checked out once again, and a double check too. Has that really happened? I don't really know, because Lance has been looking at a shed here with bras in it. Then he's been looking at an area there where some pups, do you call them pups, were found abandoned. They're in this location, maybe nearby, where the odd bone once again found, and so on and so on. And it's like, what about the mine shafts? I thought that was the whole focus and point of going into Lucin. Maybe the direction has changed since. Also Governor's Spring has kind of gone quiet in recent time, with that being a supposed hotspot as a potential area where Dylan could be at. Maybe opinions just have changed along with the directions. We might get more clarity down the line. But this is what I will say. Here and there, some people might complain and say, too many questions, too much guessing. Well, you think back to the Candice case, where there was even less material and resources. That's all you could do. Guess, question, try and construct it in your own mind. And down the line, we got answers here and there. Dylan Round's case, not as bad, because there's a bit more resources, a bit more material and coverage across all boards and different channels. So it has made it a bit easier. Though, due to this negative side effect of misinformation, confusion and all of that, it has led to guessing, simply because some people can't trust the facts, because the facts do change with time. So you got no choice but to guess and to be cautious and to think for yourself. And by thinking for yourself and by guessing and questioning, it simply creates noise, okay? You might think on the surface it's not really going anywhere, no progression, no direction, but enough noise can create a response back from someone or some people that do have the answer, right? And I think with time, that has happened in small areas, where it be Ty Corbin replying back regarding a certain point, or if it's Weezer regarding the points about Chase Venstra, that's been successful. Or maybe the weather as well. In the past, we created noise on that. We got a response back from the Montello locals, got a response back from Ellenberg, Weezer, and a few others in between, right? What we do also need to do, but I'm going to do it in a separate dedicated video because it's very important, is more coverage on the chop shop. When I was saying, oh, this feels a little bit weird because of like the mapping of it, all that will be explained in the next video. Some of you might have seen the odd community post, but we're going to be going into it deeper next time, and I'm going to be doing a 2019 comparison with 2022 or 2023 imagery, whichever one works best, because it's important, it's strange and interesting. Be on the lookout for that video too, okay? So with all that loose talk out the way, welcome if you're here. First of all, we're going to check on the Dylan Rounds case and discussion. First, looking at the comments, answer any potential questions, see if there's any additional information, and then we can process onwards to the Facebook page and see what Candice Cooley has got to say. And then once we've got through all that, I can share with you that exclusive interview, and then round it off, I guess, with the main news of pancakes. Okay? You understand? Let's head on over right now. So here we are. We just adjust the comments to the newest. We don't have too many to get through, so it's not going to be too time consuming. You don't have to worry about that. Linda Cushing saying, I'm saying animal bones. You're wondering what this is all about? As said, make sure to check out my previous video and a discussion around it, along with the important talk, which I did not include before, apologies, about the bone found by Lance Kelly, in which the argument was, is it human or animal? And at least on Lance Kelly's page, the majority were in agreement that it was a human bone. I did a breakdown analysis and a comparison of it with an animal, well, a collection of different animals, and came to a conclusion. If you want to know about that, you want to learn my conclusion of it and a possible debunking, make sure to check the last video out. As said, link down below in the pinned comment section. But yeah, what I did do was just allow people to leave comments down below and share their thoughts, their actual opinions to what they think the bone belongs to, right? So that's why Linda said animal bone. Green Mountain believes it's from a deer. I think Ty Corbin was saying it looked to belong to a bovine or some kind of calf, bovine calf or something. Is that like a cow or along the lines of it? I did type it in myself, but the bones did not seem to match up with the one in Lance's video. The bones what I saw online were bigger. But, you know, you can give your own thoughts. Anyway, Donnie Does Dishes says, looks like Lance is getting desperate. Now, some of you might be wondering, what does that mean? Basically, with time, people, not everyone, but some have got a little bit suspicious with Lance. You know, he's out there searching, looking for Dylan, which is a good thing, but the videos, the areas and environment have been described by some people as repetitive, going round in circles, as well, going into areas which are very impractical, narrow caves, tight entrances within somewhere in which Brenna couldn't fit in, you know, or Dylan, etc., etc. And as well, with the bone talk, you know, including that in the title, although it makes sense because it's relevant, it's a finding within that footage. When out there, people think it's being twisted and manipulated in a way to keep the channel alive, right? That's not my opinion. That's just me summarising what others have said over time, okay? Any responses? I just simply asked, what do you think about the bone? Donnie says, yes, I find it odd Lance doesn't know any of these people, but can tell everyone what roads they used in a 36-hour rainstorm. 36-hour rainstorm. What are you talking about, Donnie? When was this rainstorm? Back in 2022? Before Dylan went missing, or just after? Or are you talking about in recent time, 2023? Feel free to explain down below. I mean, from what Linda has said, Lance and the family moved into the area about a year ago or so, so they're kind of new to the area. They won't know everything. They won't know everyone, or who is who, or the locations of these different people within the case. So you got to be lenient there with understanding. And yeah, okay, if that really is the case, you know, just suddenly going into the area where someone like Ty Corbin, who may have been described by some as a guide, an expert in the area because he spent more time there, I get that. Someone like Weezer, when it comes to past events and relevant events to the Dylan Rounds case, to an extent, Weezer's going to know more than probably someone who is randomly on YouTube, just down to the location of where Weezer is at, almost like a Montello local. So you got to take that into mind. As well, Ellenberg too. Now, Ellenberg has been pretty quiet recently. Don't know why, but, you know, it is what it is. Let's continue reading comments. Quintessential Organics. You're becoming like Lance now with the bones. If they're not in the wash, they're not Dylan. Okay. So, Quintessential was a little bit impetuous. Take in mind, this individual did leave the comment before my live video premiere begun, so he wasn't going to know what was actually said until he watched it, right? But basically, the language, the wording of the video and the conclusion, pretty much self-explanatory when you do watch it, right? The bit about you becoming like Lance, well, I can't be becoming like Lance because, one, my hair is still black. It's not multicolored like a rainbow, nor do I have a beard, nor do I have any real life animals around me. So I'm pretty far off the mark, okay? Now, this user, Quintessential Organics, mentioned something about South Africa. I'm assuming that Quintessential Organics is Quinton. You remember Quinton? Quinton, the guy with the brown profile picture who provided that Excel sheet of all the timelines of what happened throughout all the years leading up to Dylan's disappearance. You remember that guy, Quinton? I don't know what his last name was, to be honest, but he was around. Then he went quiet or something, maybe went onto another channel and then returned back. Just want to confirm, is Quintessential Organics Quinton? Yes or no? There you go, there's a little video to Lance Kelly's bone video. Francis Strickland says, I hope he's found by someone, and are they looking for Chase? Who do you mean, Francis? You mean you hope that Lance... Do you mean Lance is looking for Chase? I don't know. Personally, I don't think anyone is looking for Chase Venstra, because there would be no need to look for Chase Venstra when he's, what do you call it, in custody, in a jail, right? He's been apprehended. He's been charged unrelated charges to Dylan Rounds, the gun charges, right? So there's no need to be looking for Chase, okay? The Chase Venstra's trailer, homestead, searching for that once again, the location of it is somewhat relevant due to Weezer's previous comment, yeah, but I don't think anyone's looking about for that. The main focus by the majority of people out there, depending on how many there are mainly looking for Dylan Rounds at this point, right? So, yeah. Juan Gonzalez says the bones should be taken to authorities. Looks like they don't care. What's this one? Green Mountain says there is an online chart of human bones we can use on Google to see if they are human bones, and if it matched, then they might act, but usually they just vanish. They usually just vanish. What do you mean? The bones vanish or Lance Kelly vanishes? Now, this is the thing. Lance Kelly has reported bones in the past, and he's got the odd bit of soil sample as well. I assume he sent them off to the police over time, but I don't know if he provided an update afterwards, because of course I'm not watching every video of his. But at least way back in the past, when it came to Brenner's burnt down trailer back in Montello, Nevada, when Lance and Kimber went down there, they searched about, didn't touch or move much, just looked and documented it, and then called in to the police and told them about it. A few days later, police came down and investigated the area. So that was a success. They didn't find anything, but at least it happened, right? When it came to the bag of bones, Lance Ty Corbin did reach out to the police, and it was taken in, analysed. Later turned out results were animal bones, though one bone wasn't confirmed. A little bit strange and odd, but Lance Kelly was successful there in reporting it and receiving an answer afterwards. The same with the railroad event in which Ty Lance came across some item or object near the railroad tracks, contacted the sheriff, police, and it was debunked, right? But it took place. So you see a pattern there. Though when you think about the bones, if you just come across a singular bone in the desert and you hand that into the police, are they going to be bothered in analysing it? Maybe the first time round, possibly the second, but if you keep doing it over and over again, they're probably just going to dismiss it, which is understandable because of time efficiency. You don't want to be wasting police time in a way. If there's any other way of identifying the bones, then that's obviously practical, but handing it into the police is probably the most useful of things, but depends if the police can be bothered with time. So I think in recent time, the bones have not been handed in to the police, and I think they were just left as they were. If they were just left as they were, I assume and hope that some kind of GPS coordinates were noted down So if you needed to go back to the area to collect the bone to hand it in, then you could. But if it's just left there, it may eventually be moved by an animal who picks up the bone, right? Not just going to stay there. It's not safe where it is. So maybe not in this situation, but in a future one, you come across a bone, not quite sure if it's human or not, leaving it there, somehow turns out to be human, you go back, oh, it's nowhere to be seen. That's not good. That's really bad. So it's like, you got to act upon finding something, but at the same time, maybe you're reluctant, or the people you're reaching out to are reluctant to, analyze it because of all the other past false calls, That's what makes me think, did that happen with Kurt Wadsworth, at the beginning, coming out with that information from the psychics, passing it on to the police and family, that Dylan was held hostage in Montello, Nevada by Chase and Robert Aviles. Yet the end result was a false call. It was just a dead end. Turned out to be a load of BS. And I'm just wondering if down the line, Kurt Wadsworth was then reluctant to pass on any additional information directly to the authorities or the family because of, consequences, conflict, backlash. So instead, that's what encouraged Kurt to get his supposed stories and events across on Pancake's channel, where he was open and free to speak without as much backlash. That could explain that change in direction. And yeah, that's what I'd think. So, as for the bones, if you do come across a real, genuine one and you just brush it off or just leave it where it is, it can be damaging to the case or a case of a missing person, depending who it belongs to. Anyway, move on. Badger Life says, I think Brenner has murdered before and was never a suspect in North Dakota. Wait, when you say never a suspect in North Dakota, do you mean instead of being a suspect, he was like literally on the spot seen as the murderer? Or are you just saying that Brenner was innocent with the North Dakota event, whatever happened back there? I mean, if Brenner has murdered before, where's the proof of it? Where's the evidence to suggest that, Let's move on. Green Mountain Life, sorry I missed the premiere. Sprained my ankle. Oh no, you're doing a bit of a Brenner there. Well, at least it's not broken then. Glenn, sorry I missed this one today, but caught up. Just Jan says, I think he's scattered and buried. Thanks for analysing this, Rev. I wish they would start searching now. It's spring. The weather in Utah is quite different than Idaho. Yeah, I mean, when looking at the recent footage of like Ty Corbin or Lance Kelly, their own individual videos, there doesn't appear to be really any snow. The ground seems a little bit softer, right? So what's the delay, right? But then again, it might be because they organised, like the family, searches a bit later on. They were waiting for the volunteers, additional people, equipment maybe. They might have a set date to when they can actually go out, right? Maybe in between, Justin or Candice might pop out there to have a little look about, but I think as for the more official searches, that might take place a bit later. Let me know your thoughts down below regarding that. Anything else? You think that Brenner was scattered and buried, hence the desecration? If you think he was scattered, how was Dylan broken up to begin with, his remains? Cut up? Like, what actual tools and items are present on the land in one of the sheds that would be usable when cutting up Dylan? There was one item, okay? I don't know if we've got an image of it right now, but I can briefly point it out. In the grain shed, right at the back, right hand side in the corner, that table, little workbench, there was a chainsaw on the table, but the whole chain of it was missing, and the actual metal thing that goes into it was missing. The only thing that was on the table was the handle and the motor, the engine part, and that was it. So, do you feel that could have been used to chop up Dylan? Let me know your thoughts. Do you want a dedicated small video about that as a discussion point? Because I know we can talk about it here, but this is a longer video, right? So I'll do a poll right now. For the next video, possibly, do you want a short dedicated one to do with this idea of desecration and a potential tool of interest on site? Make sure to vote right now. And this is where we get onto the latest comments, and this is where it starts tying in together. Sun says, Warlike Wrath, Salty Pancakes, Exposing, and Kaylee 333 channels are gone. Did he leave YouTube? Well, Sun, I can answer that later on in this video. Make sure to stick around. Applies to everyone else regarding that. I know some people in the chat will be summarizing it already and explaining it, but I'm still going to share it with you later in depth with the actual replies, responses, and explanations by Pancakes himself. So, for whatever reason, if Pancakes does pop up here or any other bits and bobs, it's okay. We're still looking at it in this video, so we can actually visually see it, text-based, understand the language and wording of the stuff, right? The best form of analysis, right? So now, let's continue the Dylan rounds focus and discussion, move on to the Facebook page and see the latest post by Candice, Cooley and some others. Here we are on the Find Dylan Rounds Facebook page, now known as Justin for Dylan Rounds. I still haven't quite gotten used to saying it that way, right? But is what it is. We've got a post here by Donatello Chris, 2nd of April at 22:20. So more up to date, I would say. The post is, just planted sunflowers today in support of Dylan, his family and friends. I hope they come up. So there you go. There's the seeds. We have seen this happening last time, back then in 2022, during the time of honouring Dylan. I think it was around his birthday or near to that. And it's happening once again because of Dylan's legacy this time round. So we got that. Got another piece of artwork there, decorative, the sunflowers in the shape of a heart, 1st of April. What's this one? Dollar Tree sells sunflower solar lights. These would look great with sunflowers this summer. So they look unique. Never seen them before. Dollar Tree. I don't know what the equivalent of that is in the UK. Probably pound shop. Poundland. Let's move on. Here we go. So this is Candice Cooley's latest post regarding the Dylan Rounds legacy. 12 hours ago it was posted. What's this? Candice Cooley is with Brooklyn Rounds and 2 others. I don't know who they are, but I guess Round family members. So Candice Cooley says, we know everyone has been anxiously waiting for these to start getting distributed. We are working on them and will start putting distribution places together. We want to thank everyone who has reached out from all over the world to help. We will have a large amount together very soon and we'll start getting them out. And that's regarding these down here. So what are they personally? Looks like it says sow a seed upon it. So are these like specially handcrafted bags or sacks, mini sacks, which contain seeds? Or do the seeds grow within it? Not quite sure. But you can see the Dylan Rounds legacy logo of him, which is also in the profile picture you see in Candice Cooley's profile. So I guess the recent silence, along with just getting on with day-to-day stuff and maybe cooperating and planning out those future searches coming to summertime, that they've been working on this in the background, so that's why they've been busy. That's understandable. What does it also say there? Sow a seed for Dylan rounds 2023 justice for Dylan. Okay, so it's to do with the legacy of Dylan rounds, right? As we saw, one being the documentary, this as well, other things in between, as well as helping and reaching out to other families out there who are going through the same similar things. Let's just check the comments out briefly. Just see if anyone pops up or any key questions. My sun catcher is in the car. I was so relieved to see charges were filed, but still hoping that Dylan gets to come home. Will you also be sending those packets in the mail? Sending you so much love. Any responses here? Candice Cooley says, we will not be doing these ones individually. I will try to get them spread out as far and wide as we can. It is truly too much to send out thousands individually. I think that's the issue what they had last time, because the amount of people that were shown support. Understand. This is awesome. If you would send some to me in Utah, I would see that they are distributed around Sanpete County for you. Okay. We just briefly glance through this. Candice, let me know if you need help in Nevada. Just basically people showing support. Just wanted to go through these just in case there's any interesting questions or points. There's no way us here in Mesa AZ could get these, would distribute here in Arizona unless Jazz Gilson have an idea. Right, is that it? Okay, that's it. Let's get back at this. So yeah, that's the latest post by Candice Cooley. You probably will start to see the shift now, with obviously the charges being placed on Brenner for Dylan's death, along with the desecration. We're almost feeling 50% complete. The next aim is, of course, trying to find Dylan, but after that is obviously the legacy, and that's being put in place more now than ever before, right? So you probably will see a shift of things. If you weren't already aware, just to point out, there is an actual YouTube channel on YouTube to do with Dylan's legacy. Can't remember the exact naming of it, but I'm sure you'll find it if you do search about. And I did cover it in a past video on my channel, showing what it looks like visually. So, you know, you see that awareness of Dylan being spread on the different platforms. Yeah, so not much more to say there. Let me know your thoughts though. You know, do you feel things are a bit too quiet at the moment in the case? Do you feel that because of the weather, the season, how it is now, that the probably should be a bit more proactive and actually searching about? You know, just let me know your thoughts. With that all being said, I think it's now time to move on. And what we're going to do now, I'm going to share with you that exclusive interview I had with that individual. Hopefully you are ready. Let's begin. Okay, so after some time of failing to interview animals, as you know, from the horses to the sheep running away, I finally infiltrated a kitty cat. Yes, I finally come across a cat. I wonder if I should ask it a few questions. Well, we'll see. It seems to be lurking in the bushes. The cats must like the bush. Well, let's see if I can get close enough to it and see if it wants to talk. Okay, so we've got some thick, dense vegetation here, and you can see through the gaps there appears to be a cat, but I need to get a little bit closer so you can see. Kitty cat. Kitty cat. Where are you? Yes, over here. Yeah. Kitty cat, what are you doing? You gonna answer some questions? Don't be just staring at me like that. No, yeah, come over. No, kitty cat, do not run away. Are you turning your back on me? Ch-ch-ch-ch. Are you tired already by my voice? Yawning? How rude. Look at your eyes, You gonna answer some questions, or do I have to stare deep into your eye? So, blink twice if you are in danger. Good. Blink, excuse me, we're not finished. Hello? Oh my god. So fucking rude, petty ass bitch. Yeah, you look at me when I'm talking. So what do you think of KFC? Do you think it's dodgy? Yes? Okay. What do you think of Little Caesars? You think that's better? You think the soggy bread will do? No, I thought so. Looking away in disgust. I don't blame you, it's terrible there. Let me get a little bit closer. There we go. I'm sorry about the volume there. Yes, I can still see you. So, what do you think about Christy B? No comment? Are you jealous? You're jealous because Christy already has a black cat. I know that is very unfortunate, isn't it? What do you think about Wes? Blink twice if you like Wes. Oh, you gonna blink again? Oh ho ho. Looks like this kitty cat really likes Wes Stump. Blinking twice and very slowly. Lucky Wes, you're very lucky. Anyway. Kitty cat. Kitty cat. What do you think about my channel? What do you think about my channel? Trying to hide from me? Oh, naughty boy. Oh, whatever gender you are. It appears to be trying to hide from me. It looks like it doesn't want to talk anymore. Let me try from a different angle. Give me a second. Kitty cat. Oh, my boy. Peekaboo. I can see you. We're not finished yet. Oh, no, we're not. Oi. What do you think about my channel? Do you like my channel? Do you like my coverage? What do you think about the case of Dylan Rounds? No? Oh, you're so sassy. My god. Do I really have to turn into a little bitch? Biatch? What are you doing? Turning your back on me. Oh my god. This kitty cat is rude as fuck. Oh my god, what is it licking now? Yeah, you keep on licking, girl, because I have had enough of this. Once again, we have a semi-successful interview. At least it didn't quite run away from me, but this kitty cat just does not want to talk no more. It just wants to sit in quiet and feel the sun. Well, I guess I tried. Okay, thanks for the interview, kitty cat. Goodbye. So I feel that interview was semi-successful, got a few responses out of the kitty cat acknowledging Wes Stump. Clearly, Wes, your presence is felt and known across all the different countries, I guess. Now, why did that cat appear? Not quite sure why it was hiding there. Maybe it was hiding from me, because what you got to take in mind, and there is a video on my channel in the short section tab if you check it out, I did once nearly accidentally sit on that cat when I was sitting down in a shack. And basically it was at night time, it was in the dark. I basically went into the shack just to sit down. It was okay, I managed to sit down, but I could hear something. I could hear purring in the dark, and I could feel something hairy, and I wasn't sure what it was. So I grabbed a light and kind of pointed it by the side of me, and then the cat was there, just casually sat down. And in terms of the gap of the seat where I was sat and where the cat was, this was the gap. Very narrow. So very lucky, I guess. I don't think the cat would have been happy if I sat on it. So I guess the cat has adapted with time, using nature as a form of safety. And, you know, luckily the cat hasn't ambushed me or jumped out. So that's all good. I've never been attacked by cats or ambushed, unlike dogs. So I do acknowledge that. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. Do you think that interview went to plan? Do you think it was a success? Did we get vital, critical answers? Let me know your thoughts. So, that aside, I think it's time now to move on to the more important main focus of this video regarding Salty Pancakes and his channel. If you weren't quite aware of it, if you haven't tried it already, at this moment in speaking, at this moment in time, at least, you type in Salty Pancakes channel, it does not exist. It does not show up whatsoever. Even if you may click on links or mentions of the channel to be directed to the actual channel, it won't do anything. Same applies to Salty3Pancak3s. Now, Kaylee, the one who sounds like that person, the scarecrow of Lucin, I'm just using that term because people will be more familiar with it, okay? That's all. I tagged Kaylee in a video last night, the Gorilla Jack short video, okay? Not many people seem to watch it, so I don't know what happened there. But I tagged Kaylee and there was no response. Now at the time, I was like, oh, maybe because of the time zone difference. But then as time went on, still no response, no answer. I guess the same applies to Girl Ryan, but I don't know about her channel. But I think that's probably just been busy with stuff. And yeah, now with hearing about Kaylee's channel disappearing as well, that's probably why they've not checked my video, because the channel doesn't exist anymore, so they can't use that account to view my video, I guess. Yeah, so before we get any further, because we will provide better explanations, of course, from Pancake's Facebook post. Seems to be a lot of drama going on there, okay? Between Pancakes, maybe Jim Terry, and some people in between, right? I think the tensions are quite high at the moment. You know, recently Pancakes did return back from a 1-week ban from YouTube. That 1-week ban, the reason for it was because of spreading harmful conspiracies. I guess someone or some people may have reported the channel. Some of the videos talking about whether it be Aidan Clune case or Dylan Round's case and the conspiracies about them, or other external stuff. And it led to consequences and it didn't go well. But recently, returning back, doing like 1 or 2 videos, and then once again being taken away, but this time literally the channel. So maybe to some people it's a shock, surprise. I don't know how people will react. As what I said earlier on in this video, if you have just joined right now, welcome. Make sure to rewind back to the beginning if you want to hear more about Dylan Round's case, as well as the latest updates regarding Dylan's legacy. As for now, we're looking at Pancakes and a story about that, the latest breaking news regarding it. Just want to acknowledge once again, there may be resistance, more so in the chat now because of what we're talking about, whether it be direct supporters coming on in or the actual channel or other third-party people. Just be prepared for it. I'm just simply covering it just to provide like an explanation, a point of view, because there was a few viewers on my channel, as you saw, that wanted an answer. So if I can provide that, I might as well. And what I will be sharing is all of public information. So it's all okay, it's all under control, no worries there. What I do want to say as well in advance is I feel, is it a prediction? Kind of. It was a long-standing prediction, vaguely put in general, regarding the Dylan Round's case community in the early days. And what that was me getting at saying you got these allegiances, alliances being formed, some breaking down, new ones being created, some people returning back. The sinking ship theory, the Titanic state, in which as something collapses and sinks, people jump off a board and move on to elsewhere, such as another channel. That can happen. Could be also known as the refugee crisis, okay? Noah's Ark, opening the floodgates for new animals to step on in. Do they combine, work with the kitty cats? Don't know. Could there be tension? Maybe. Do the claws need trimming? Possibly. But that's a different story. But simply put, the prediction was basically, in the Dylan Rounds case, you associate yourself with certain people, you might get attacked for it, you might become a marked target, right? Or if you allow people onto your own channel, right? Like a panel, a live call-in, it could drag you down with time. If you allow people to penetrate through you, through your defense, your line on YouTube, they take control, they own you. And when they do pull away, you owe them in a sense, or you need them, as what might have been demonstrated here and there. So I'd rather stay out of that. As for getting caught up in between different channels and wars, that's not a good place to be. So I've tried avoiding that as well. I guess the Shack Lady has managed to walk away from that dodginess as well, but she's not really been doing any videos recently. So there's a reason there. But I just felt like there was a sinking ship at some point down the line that someone would possibly end up worse off than another individual, right? As for like small scale stuff, okay? And it's like trying to avoid that so then you don't get dragged down yourself. So I do understand of obvious points why people said, keep away from all that stuff, focus on the case, and that's exactly what's happened. And of course, today we have focused on the case, so we've maintained the balance there. Now it's time to just simply talk about this because people want answers, and not everyone has access to Facebook. So, you know, pretty self-explanatory there. So now it's time to go on the Facebook page and just basically read what's there and see the extent, the seriousness of the matter. Here we are on Facebook. Just want to provide a little brief backstory. So during that 1 week ban by Pancakes, obviously he wasn't able to upload any videos or live stream to his main channel, so he had to rely on some of his supporters' channels to be able to do live streams there. But also he still had his Facebook page, which he still has right now as of speaking at this moment in time, where he did the live streams. And I think it was still through via Streamlabs, okay, and hosted on Facebook, because on Facebook you can do live streams. That's why you see people doing live gaming videos on Facebook these days, okay? So the content which basically varied throughout that time was coverage on Jim Terry, I guess maybe because it was retaliation or some kind of fight back due to getting that ban in the first place. You know, whether it be paranoia kicking in or the actual truth because of the tension, long-standing drama going on, someone down the line was going to pay the price. Someone was going to suffer in some way, right? Just like with wars and battles throughout time, there's a winning side and a losing side, right? It can get messy. If you can avoid it, then obviously that's the best thing to do. But I guess with Pancakes trying to defend himself in some way, as well as his audience, I guess, being present, you know, it was just going to fuel on, right, up to this point. And you see on screen some coverage on Jim Terry calling him out, Salty3Pancaks accusing Jim Terry of being a fraud, and all kinds of dodgy stuff going on. So keywords like that can obviously fuel and increase the tension, the conflict and the falling out between one another, right? And as many will know, this has been going on for quite some time. Originated from when the Dylan Rounds case all came about. Disagreements, accusations thrown about, misunderstandings, drama, attacking one another, fans attacking one another, all-out warfare, right? And it's gone on for some time. and so on. But let's just move on to some of the more recent stuff. Here, there you go, 1 day ago. So this basically around the time when Pancakes returned back from that 1 week ban, doing some live streams once again on YouTube and sharing them onto Facebook as well. And there is a slight change, focus elsewhere, not directly on Jim Terry, but maybe more so on one of Jim Terry's viewers or supporters known as Robbie. Now you might be wondering, who is Robbie? Robbie, also known as on YouTube, It's Just Robbie or It's Robbie. Basically an American guy with blonde or whitish hair with a bit of a quiff and has the accent voice of a, oh my God, I am virtually a valley girl at this point in time. Where's my dog at? You know, that type. But basically, some of you would have seen that account. You would have seen Robbie appear on my channel once or twice in the past. He only appeared very brief. I don't think he liked my channel or my videos, but that's understandable. He's got a different opinion, fine. And that's about it. I've not really had any issues with him, so that's okay. But from the looks of it, Pancakes has maybe some kind of witch hunt aimed towards Robbie, whether that be because Robbie has done something to Pancakes, but you see the back and forthness, you see the intensity of concentration on certain individuals, and it's like, maybe there's a reason for it, but is there any way that could have been avoided and you put more time and effort away from that but into something else, such as directly covering Aidan Clune or Dylan Rounds? Though, if there's any reason, explanation to say that by covering those videos, which then led to the channel being taken down, then you probably start looking for answers, maybe getting a bit paranoid, or maybe finding out who was responsible and then going after them. So it just seems like a never-ending cycle. There's the latest one. Pancakes 1 day ago. When you entertain harassment and want to be a bully, don't cry when it starts to happen back to you. Right, so seems like here in Pancakes' mindset, Robbie was doing that and now it's being retaliated like a taste of one's own medicine, right? I mean, I can't talk too much about it because obviously I don't know much about Robbie. But what do we have here? Oh yeah, this was, I believe, the last live video by Pancakes, and it was last night. So it was roughly round the time of when my premiere started on YouTube, and that's partially why not as many people were watching my video, and partially a part explanation to why there was no resistance on my channel either. Some of you would have noticed that in the past, it's almost like a filtering process in which when other channels are live, it spreads people out. So there's less conflict and tension on my channel, right? And then normally what happens when the live stream ends, people come on over to mine, and then sometimes it goes downhill. Other times though, it's okay, right? So it does vary. But last night, that was the last live stream, I should say, before it all went down, because I went to sleep after my video, woke up, and then got a person questioning what's happened to those channels. You searched it, typed it in, they weren't there. Pancakes wasn't. Jim Terry left a question. Better question, what happened to all your YouTube channels? Lol, 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 lol. I win, you're all, whatever that says. It doesn't, like, expand. But, yeah, so there's that. Let's move on. What else do we have here? 19 hours ago. Recently, Amy Clune did an interview with a guy who fell asleep and didn't really get anything from Amy as far as new updates. It was an embarrassing interview done by Lance from Fraud Are Us. Let's deep dive. Timeline. Right, so same video what was referred to before as the one last night. Yeah, recently Lance Kelly did do a live stream interview with, I believe, the mother of Aidan Clune. And a couple of people on my channel said it wasn't the best. And I guess some of Pancakes viewers think the same thing. I don't know about the bit falling asleep. I don't know if that actually did happen or not, but Yeah, I mean, you know, some YouTube channels, some people out there on other platforms are good at interviews, other people aren't, etc., etc. But people are good at different things, end of the day. What else do we have here? Salty Channel Down online event, 14 hours again. So I'm just doing this in the correct order of how the feed follows, okay? Explaining the madness. The Salty channel has been removed from YouTube. We are in the process of rebuilding. Okay? So there you go. Salty Pancakes himself confirming it officially. His own channel of over 12 to 13,000 subscribers have been removed from YouTube. So that will include all the channel memberships. I don't know about super chats, fam, if that gets taken away or not. All the videos, all the documentation, all that video material. You know exactly what I mean that. So the grain shed footage, the interviews with Kurt Wadsworth, all of that gone. So unless it's recorded, kept on a hard drive or something, but you know, when your channel is taken down, literally, the videos and everything is gone. And if you haven't got a backup channel or you haven't got backup videos elsewhere stored on files, then you're fucked. So it is kind of rough, that, right? But the only thing to acknowledge is the things what we have analysed with time, briefly documented, the odd screenshot of these things. And, you know, you yourself, you may have listened to these interviews and gathered the knowledge and intel regarding what Kurt's had to say with time and through Pancakes videos. At least you've been able to absorb it before the inevitable, before it got too late, I guess. Is what I mean. Even like with the Kenny Veach case, you had to try and document stuff, you know, very quickly just before it disappeared or was deleted by them or by someone else out of one's control. And it's kind of happened here once again. So this is what I mean. History repeating itself to an extent, but not along the same lines, because this is more so as a result of drama, tension and ongoing conflict. Kenny Veach case, that was more people just simply changing in one's own behaviour. But end of the day, content was removed. And if it's important content, material, it can never be viewed again. So, One thing, what we also need to do is just check the additional responses, because there's about 53 comments now. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but if you click on the comment button or the comment icon, it won't let you view it unless you signed in with your account. But if you just tap the comment that shows up below, it does. I don't know why it says Safari can't open the page because the address is invalid. I don't know if in the process this page could be blocked or something, like taken down like the YouTube channel. So that's why it needs to be covered now before it's too late. Oh, it didn't seem to work. Oh, what's going on here? Salty exposes Robbie from Jim Terry. Yeah, we've seen that before. More from Pancakes. It seems like something's gone wrong with this channel. Explaining madness. Comments. Ah, there we go. That was so weird. It was like the page completely changed or something. I don't know, but this is just continuing on from that confirmation by Pancakes talking about his channel being removed. He says, yes, for severe conspiracies. That was one of the original reasons to why he got banned for 1 week. And yeah, it's also the reason to then why his channel got taken down for good. Lol. Salty Pancake said the channel exposing him himself and Kaylee all got took down. Each individual channel of theirs. So maybe you could argue it's a targeted thing, maybe. I mean, I've never really seen it before where different channels all at once have been taken down. well, I guess it's down to association, because Kaylee associates with pancakes and so does exposing. And like they're all on one ship. When one goes down, they all go down. So it kind of ties in with that concept. Let's just carry on reading. Pancakes. We're in the process of rebuilding and we'll be back soon. It's no biggie, just more labour, time to start up again. I mean, how long does it take to start up again? Well, being realistic, I don't know how many subscribers did I have at the time. I mean, it's taken me from 2013 till now to get about 7,400 subscribers. As for Pancakes, it took him a couple of months to get to about 10,000 subscribers. So arguably you can say there are several other YouTube channels out there that are more successful than mine in terms of how they were able to set their channel up in a shorter space of time. Even Jim Terry's channel, as for some statistics, are arguably more successful than my channel in like the short-term process of starting up or growing. It is what it is. But you know, as for rebuilding a channel, I don't know how difficult that is personally, because I've not been through it myself, but I'm very sure that, you know, if I was in that situation, it would take me another 10 plus years to get back, you know, stats, right? Maybe even longer, just my reality. But yeah, a little bit messy. I don't know if videos will be re-uploaded to his channel from like the Dylan Round stuff or the Aiden Clune things. Well, you know, I guess time will tell. I don't know if I can show you right now, but basically there seems to be a new Salty Pancakes channel on YouTube. If you search it, it might come up. There's only one video on the channel and it's with Jim Terry. I guess reposting some of the arena football stuff. I don't know if that's like against copyright and stuff like that. Kind of like if you used to stream a football game or a basketball game, is that illegal? I guess. But anyway, let's just carry on reading. Back to this. Be back soon. Yvonne, bonbon. Aren't they sweets what you eat? Bonbons. Anyway, Vaughandis Healy. So Vaughandis is the individual described by some of my viewers as the broomstick that was left in the closet too long, who came from No Thanks channel, that came onto my channel and gave several comments complaining about my coverage on the Dylan Rounds case and constantly criticising me, whinging and whining and not actually providing any contribution to the case themselves. That's just a little backstory behind who Vaughandis is. What does she say? I don't have a YouTube channel, I'm just a subscriber, so they can't take my channel down. Ha ha ha. Well, you're incorrect, Vaughandis. Everybody on YouTube, everybody that comments on YouTube, everybody that subscribes to a channel on YouTube, everybody that interacts on YouTube has a YouTube account. 100%. Everyone has a YouTube account in which people who operate on YouTube, right? Because YouTube connected with Google, you got a Google account, you need a Google account, which ties in to be able to use YouTube, etc., right? When you leave comments down below in a YouTube video, you have to have some form of account to be able to comment, right? If you don't have an account, then you won't be able to truly access YouTube or leave comments. So when you do have an account, that's what sets up the channel. You have a channel on YouTube. Everyone else does. You may have a default profile. You may have 0 videos on your channel, but you still have a channel, right? Does that make sense? And you can still be reported, right? That can still happen, end of the day. Sure, there's no videos to report, but you can still report the actual account profile or a comment posted by that individual. And the accounts can still be shut down, right? In the past, during the Kenny Veach days, okay, there was some accounts here and there that basically posted no videos, but they still had a YouTube account. And some of those accounts were deleted or removed because of fake impersonation of somebody else, or harassment or threats, etc. And they dispelled, okay? So Candice does have a channel, and so does everyone else. Lorray, it is crazy, I can't imagine why. Candice, they took exposing channel down too. Rita, yeah, I had gotten a notification that my membership was paused and I said, what the fuck? Tiffany, I got the same message. This is BS. Amber, sorry, sad face, we will be here. I can't imagine why or who could get this done. I believe it was Stoney, I think. Stoney that said Jim Terry's responsible. Rita, Candice, they took Kaylee down too. Why did they take down hers? I'd like to know too. This makes me so mad. Well, you know, you just think of it on the surface, right? If Pancakes has been taken down, then you would think anyone that associates with Pancakes directly, such as appearing as a guest or a regular on the panel, is also going to become a target as well, right? That's why sometimes when you involve yourself with a group of people, you can get sucked into it. So, you know, if you come across someone that is experiencing trouble and you associate with them, then that trouble is equally shared and then you might suffer yourself. So that is why when it's come to this Dylan Brown's case, I've tried keeping to myself, right? And look at this. All the people that have demanded that I go on these panels and interviews, and then the other people that have just briefly suggested it, guess what? I'm still standing here being able to at least cover the Dylan Rounds case without too much tension in the chat, thankfully, at this moment in time of speaking, because I've tried, you know, staying away from the external trouble. And if you think about it, if I did appear on panel and these interviews, then I might have been in a similar situation and completely fucked. You see, you got to think ahead. You got to be cautious and how you word things. And one thing I will highlight to an extent, okay? I don't know if anyone's listening in the background right now or in the shadows, but make sure you're listening. When it comes to Jim Terry or Mr. X, although one or the other may have not agreed with my points or just thinks my coverage is pointless or not helpful in the Dylan Brown's case, at least said in the past around that time, which, okay, understandable, they have a different opinion. They've not really caused me any trouble. You know, Mr. X, Jim Terry, they've not attacked me. They've not, like, done anything to me which would go against TOS. Now, in general, if a person does bad things, but it's not, it can't be pinned to a guideline that's been broken, then, you know, you can't really be punished for it, right? I mean, you might be able to call someone out, but, you know, if you're not showing photos or if you're not, like, revealing this or that, then, you know, you can't be done. It's probably not the best way of wording it like that, but, like, at least from my experience, despite what other people may think, at least my point of view, there is no need whatsoever, at least for me, to be reporting Jim Terry or Mr. X. There's no need to. No issues. It's okay. Okay? Because they've not, like, used my profile picture in a bad way, or they've not used, like, deep fake AI technology from at least what I know of. They've not done this or done that, or, you know, used any of my videos. They haven't done any of that, right? So it's all fine. But, you know, just in a general setting, some people may find ways around it to be able to do this or do that and get away with it, right? There'll always be loopholes, always be backdoor entrances and stuff. All kinds of stuff can happen. I mean, I have received resistance, of course, those fake accounts and all that other stuff in between. Genuinely don't know where it originated from or who was directly responsible for it, but, You know, that sort of stuff that happened should and was reported back then, right? Such as that fake account of Agent Jessica when they were using deep fake AI technology of my face without consent in a arguably bad way and insulting way, going against TOS guidelines, right? That needed to be reported. Was it taken down? I can't remember at this point in time, but you know, there's just like certain ways and methods in what you can do and can't do, what you should do and what you shouldn't, and things that maybe you can bend around it. Yeah. I mean, it's like even when it comes to simply following the guidelines, you can still get punished, right? So sometimes it's a little uncertain. Sometimes no holds barred, anything goes. So, you know, maybe there's not always consistency, right? Anyway, let's just continue reading regardless. Candy K. Is that American Honey? The profile picture looks like American Honey. Take in mind this is all public comments. Okay. Michelle Blanchett says, I was mad. I been reported. Jim and Mr. X for 2 weeks. I so mad. Right. Vaundis, I still believe the only reason why they're doing this to you is because you're onto something. And this is the thing, what? Onto what? Onto something about Aidan Clune, onto something about Dylan Rounds, or something external. I know people do go on about the truth seeker mentality, but I'll be honest with you, the truth seeker mentality I do cringe at, because it normally, not all the time, but a fair bit from what I've seen, tends to be associated with hippy-dippy, happy-flappy individuals who are a little bit delusional, in denial, have crystals strapped to their chest and wherever else the sun doesn't shine, and it just ends up falling on itself. There's a time in the Kenny Veach case where one individual was going on about buying a plot of land, an island, so everybody could visit over, stay there like a retreat and practice meditation, spirituality, all to do with the Kenny Veach case, and branching on from that and learning, reaching 4D dense densities and vibrations and patterns and healing and all that. I'm thinking, oh my God, did any of that happen in the end? No. It just all dispersed. People moved on, channel broke down, videos removed, and it was like, oh, that's it. Yeah. It's happened a few times. Changes in behaviour with people. Spiritual people to an extent might be a positive, but a realistic individual is arguably a little bit better. Anyway, just my opinion. Let's move on. Vaundis, please keep us informed to when you will be back up and running. Until then, I'll watch you here. So how long until you're back up do you know? I'm surprised Kathy Waters hasn't showed up. Guess you made someone very uncomfortable. I'm with you. How will we know when you're back on here on Facebook? What's going on? No sound, no sound. Salty, that is a bunch of BS. That's effed up. I'm sorry to hear that. I think that's Stony there. I think that's Stony because of the profile picture. All 3 channels get the F out of here. Why did you get removed from YouTube? I guess it's, I think we read it from the wrong way up. We should have started from the bottom. Is there no more comments? It says view more, but it's not loading. Michelle, so mad right now. Jim and Mr. X stayed up. I've reported for 2 effing week. Right, so people seem very angry from the looks of it, and I can't seem to load any more comments up. Do we have any additional comments here and there? No, because it goes back to that. Oh well. Oh, there's a comment here. What's this? This is by Pancakes 13 hours ago. We found who did it and also the 7 followers. It's funny how people will literally go out of their way. It's okay So can we prepare for major war and serious doxing to happen? Oh, that doesn't sound good. We have also appealed to YouTube. If all else fails, this won't stop us from being on YouTube. We are already rebuilding. Hashtag comeback game is strong. So this is where things could get even more messier. And it can also apply simply to the general public, the viewers that associate themselves with certain channels. Depending, I guess it may be no matter what side you're on, you could get attacked. Although it might be channel at war with another content creator, the viewers get dragged in themselves, whether it be by choice or not. And there can be a lot of mess down the line. So depending how things go here from now on, it could be messy. But, you know, that's just happening, right? At least here we just focus on Dylan Rounds, but this just needed to be covered just to answer a few questions, okay? We probably only need to cover this just once, just in brief. I don't know if it's exactly brief, but, you know, just trying my best to explain it, okay? And you can tell my flow of talking stuff isn't as efficient as usual, isn't as smooth, maybe, but that's just simply because I'm not really focused on all the drama stuff. So like when people do all the talking about that, me, it's just more about the cases and mysteries. That's why I'm able to talk better regarding those videos, right? But what's going on here? Some screenshot of some person, and then Robbie replied back saying you've already been reported on Facebook. So not only is the retaliation or conflict going on YouTube, it's also on Facebook too. So there's that. But the bit about prepare for major war and doxing, you know, it's one of those things where even if there's a reason to be doing it, it's just gonna maybe make you worse off down the line. So is it really worth it? Or has it got to that point where it's gone past that? It's too late. Maybe. Live scene 12 hours ago. Salty down. What should we ever do? This is no time to panic. Typed in capital letters. I mean, what's Kathy Waters thinking at this point? I mean, because she normally types in capital letters anyway. I mean, is she going to be typing in big black bold text now in a new font? I don't know. Mighty Mouse. So I guess that's a backup channel or a new channel to do videos. If you wonder who that person is, as for a photo, I believe it's Kaylee. Right, I think it's Kaylee. Okay, let's move on up. We got some videos being posted there. I'm not going to play them because we don't want to go into copyright or any of that stuff. Pancakes, make sure to subscribe. Temporary channel. You'll find us on 3 new platforms. So yeah, all kinds of stuff going on there. Special message for Miss T. Now that video link 7 hours ago posted to YouTube. When you do click on it, it says the video was removed, taken down by the channel owner, Pancakes. So, don't know what that video was about. I don't know why or how or what, but, you know, it's been taken down. Is it because it was reported itself, or I don't know. I mean, this is the thing pattern with people with time in like the different cases. They'll upload something and then take it down later, and it's like, why? By choice or with a force to? Sometimes you don't always find out. Hopefully that was able to answer some of the people's questions and provide a bit of backstory as well to what's gone on. I'm sure Pancakes will create another account or another channel here, there, everywhere, you know. Will he ever move away from YouTube onto another place? I think the talk of Telegram was mentioned and he said, of course. But, you know, time will tell, right? Still focus on Dylan Rounds, of course. You know, maybe we get to a checkpoint, hopefully, to a point where those levels, people are satisfied, and then a different direction can be taken. But what I do want to say is, and I don't know if it really is the case is with Aidan Clune. You know, when you cover these different cases and it can lead to possible resistance or tension. With Pancakes in recent time, mainly doing videos about and around Aidan Clune. Is that the direct reason to why he got punished for those conspiracies? It's just because there's no harm in being aware and alert for the future. If there is a certain case which has choppy waters, is a little bit tense and a high risk, you don't want to go into a case like that to then share your thoughts, theories and ideas, which could be twisted and turned as something else, and then you get punished for it. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, it's good to cover a range of different cases, but if some are more riskier than others, is it really worth it when you want to share your actual thoughts and try and make sense of everything? I don't know. Maybe it'll be okay. It should be okay, because I had done an Aidan Clune video in the past with the appropriate language and wording, of course. So just, I guess, just keep up with that. Is there enough material on Aidan Clune to really deep dive into it, or does it seem a little bit bland, a little bit empty? There was an actual Aidan Clune Facebook page, but I think that may have discontinued recently. I'm sure there was like a YouTuber or something that posted something on the page saying that they've had to retract a video or so because of a request made. And it's like, I wonder how strict the people in the background are regarding Aidan Clune, you know? I know I've always said that, you know, when you do start receiving resistance, maybe you are heading in the right direction for a particular reason. Does that apply to Salty Pancakes in this case? I don't know. I can't really comment on that. But we'll see what happens next in general. Don't know if any people were on bad behaviour tonight. Don't know if anyone was whinging, whining or complaining. Hopefully not, because you know, it's just a standard video once again. But if so, this will be used in a second. A little observation, yes, it looks like the cat has gone clawing through my hair because of the way my hair is. Nope, the cat wasn't responsible for that. I don't know where the cat is. Actually, I saw the cat lurking about at the bottom of the garden, and then I think it disappeared wherever. You know, did anyone put that cat there on purpose? Maria, was it you? Cleo, was it you? Did you place that black cat there, like a witch's cat? Or was it Christy B? You know, last time Christy B sending over those red balloons in the sky, like little Chinese spyware, yeah, didn't quite work out, did it? So maybe the cat was the next option. But there we go. Anyway, just cleanse any resistance before we go. We get the holy whip of wrath. Strike once, strike twice, and strike 3 times for the magic number. There we go. Now we do it another time. Double it up, double or nothing. 666 gang. There we go. One more for good luck. There we go. We'll see what happens next. Of course, next video will be related to Dylan Rounds once again. It might be that shorter one, depending on what the poll results say. Okay? Thanks for watching. See you next time. Goodbye and good night for now.